When I start these talks, I always like to go into meditation for a little bit at the beginning. And you're very welcome to join me. You're also very welcome to skip ahead if you're watching the recorded version. You don't have to do it, obviously. And it's just sitting quietly for 15 minutes or 20 minutes. You can either do a practice or you can do no practice and just sit there. But if you do a practice, know that when you do practice it, the assumption is that you're doing it. But the question that I would pose is, who is this you that thinks it's doing it? So practice either happens or doesn't happen, but there is no you that's going through time doing the practice and arriving in a future destination stronger. There is only this moment. My medical warning before joining these talks, it's not really a medical warning, I'm just being silly, is not to psychologically get confused between the person and traumas, or the person and unresolved stuff in your psychology. The body carries a psychology and a personality or a character, and that character evolves through time, and it can be traumatized by things. And being present and putting your attention away from that and putting it in the moment can be super helpful and can affect and change things. But sometimes when it's strong, that trauma or those ideas, then there has to be a dealing with it on the human level. And that means looking at the emotion, going into the emotion, understanding its pattern, and then inevitably seeing it's not true and that that's not who you are. The body holds on to it. It's not the body holds on to it. There's a strong feeling, and then the seeking energy holds on to it, and then there is an attachment to that feeling, and then it becomes yours. You own it. It's you, and all of that's not conscious on the human level, but that's how it manifests and plays. So it's just knowing that difference. So using non-duality, or seeing that this moment is all that you are, can be really healing on the human psychological level, and it can do great things, but it can also become a hindrance. And I don't mean a hindrance to getting to non-duality, I mean a hindrance in the person's life. It can make the person disbalanced or step out of boundaries that it needs to erect, or ignore traumas that are happening in the body. So it's just being wise with that. But then at the same time, knowing that nobody is. What contradictions. Okay, so we'll sit in silence for 15 minutes, maybe a bit longer. And there's some things that I would recommend to do. So number one is moving your attention to the I am, or consciousness, whichever you feel more comfortable with or whatever resonates with you. And basically, to me, that means putting the attention in presence. So every time your thinking mind moves off into time, putting it back into presence, but knowing that there's nobody doing that. That even though you're telling yourself you're doing a practice, that's only a story. That's not actual truth. It's a story that you're doing it and that you're choosing to. It's the same if I teach you how to bake a cake. It seems like I'm giving you instructions and that you are choosing to do those instructions, but actually it's a happening, just like the breeze blowing the trees and the flowers growing up to the sun. And then the other one is mindfulness of breathing, which I learned from the Buddhists. And this is putting your attention back in your breath. So every time you breathe in, and you feel the air go in your nose, so as soon as you feel it touch here, so you can focus on the end of your nose, count 1. So just on the in-breath, not on the out-breath. And then when you get to number 10, you go back to the beginning again. So you breathe in, 1, 2, and you follow your breath all the way into your body, 3, and out again, 4, 5, 6, I might have missed one then, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then back to 1 again. 1. Or you can just sit there and do nothing and let the mind go. Okay, we shall begin. I shall set off my little bell. Are you ready for my little bell? Ding. Hello. Wakey, wakey. So you can start writing questions now. It doesn't interrupt me if you do that through my introduction. But I shall start with the introduction. Losing hope in non-duality. My God, what a title.